Hi, it's CraftyMama, and I wanted to share with you a project I recently did. It was making patchwork book covers for a journal. And what you'll need for this is a cereal box cardboard or chipboard, cardstock colors for your patchwork squares, in your choice of colors, of course, scissors or a cutting board / scoring board, tacky glue or other preferred adhesive, an optional Mod Podge and a brush to apply it, embellishments for your cover, Cinch binding machine, or you can use O-rings and a hole punch, or you can even create a spine in the middle and sew it. And what I mean by that is you'll make a 1 or 2 inch spine, you'll leave a 1/4 inch in either side, and you'll glue it to your cover before you cover it with cardstock or anything else. And you can sew in signatures if you want. You can do it that way. And depending on the size of your covers, how many 1 inch squares you will need. If 6 by 6, 36 squares per cover, that means 72 squares total. In my case, I did an 8 by 8. That's 64 1 inch squares by 2 covers. So I needed 128 squares. You get the idea. Now for my cover, I decided to use this M&M's cookie sandwich ice cream box. It's kind of lightweight cardboard, so I will probably want to cover the printed side, both sides, just to make it a little more sturdy. But I cut them to 8 by 8, and I also made my own grid. I just took it and scored it at 1 inch on one side at 1 inch intervals, so it's easier if you make an even size cover, 7 by 7, 8 by 8, so on. And then I turned it sideways and scored it again at 1 inch, so I can make my own design and see how I like it before I actually do it. These are the colors I'm using, all in kind of like neutral browns, tans, yellow, beige. And here's all my 1 inch squares that I cut ready to go. So I decided to cover the printed side of my cardboard with this black paper. And I also made the grid 1 by 1 inch grid on the black paper just so I have something to follow along with to put my patchwork squares down on. Just makes it a little easier for me to follow like a little pattern. And that's the side I'm going to put it on, so I can make sure none of that cover shows through when I put my squares on. So I am going to glue that down. And I'm going to use my tacky glue, a wet glue. I like using tacky glue because it's forgiving and repositionable, and it gives you a little playtime. If you make a mistake or got to move it a little, you can do that with tacky glue. So my black piece of paper is down, and now I'm going to glue these squares on. And I went with like a 4-block thing. I have the orange next to the brown. Underneath the orange is a beige, and next to the beige is a yellow. That's my 4-block square, I'm calling it. And I'm going to continue that theme all along until I get the whole back cover or whatever side cover this is done. I'm going for a fall theme. I love fall colors, so that's kind of the theme of this book cover. And as you can see, I'm gluing the squares down. I'm trying to push them as close as I can together. And no matter how good you are, sometimes when you're cutting and scoring for the 1 inch squares, they won't all come out perfectly perfect. And that's okay. There may be a tiny little gap here or there, but you know, there's embellishments and different things you can use to fudge it in and to alter it and make it look exactly how you want to look. So now I'm just putting all these squares on, and as you can see, I decided to put more glue more squares. That's why I love tacky glue. You can put it, you can be really quick about it, put the squares down. And I'm just talking through this so you don't hear silence through the whole thing. And once I'm done putting all these on, I'll give you a quick look at my cover. So keep watching. You'll see me finish, and you will see what it all looks like when I get all my patchwork squares on. This is kind of an easy project. Once you get all your squares cut, it doesn't really take super long to put them all on. And it's kind of a fun thing to do. You get to create a different kind of look. Now I did go ahead and alter it up just a little more. This is the same cover you just saw a second ago, but I did cut out 1/4 inch strips of brown cardstock, and I outlined all the outside edges of the cover and the rows, as you can see, of my blocks, because I liked the look better. It gave it a more nicer look, I thought, and it filled in some little gaps that I didn't like. I also did add a coat of Mod Podge on it because I liked the look. It gave it a nice look, and it made the squares go down nice and evenly. And I also put beige paper, just plain beige, on the other side of the cover. and Mod Podge that. There's a little wrinkles and crinkles, but I like that. Now here's what I actually made for the cover. I had a napkin that had this cornucopia on it. And the rest of the napkin wasn't any good, but the cornucopia part I cut out and I put on top of some cardstock paper. And I Mod Podged it with a couple of coats of Mod Podge. I love this cornucopia. And then I decided just to do the brown and the orange squares on the cover, making this my cover now. And again, I outlined with the 1/4-inch strips, and I made like a frame around the cornucopia. And I love how this cover came out. Again, it has a coat of Mod Podge on it too. I just love playing with Mod Podge. I like the look of it. And of course, the plain beige on this side too, but I can put more embellishments or something on this side. I'm not done with that. So here's the side-by-side look of the two covers. I think they flow together perfectly, just a tad bit different, but they complement each other. Now I had a second napkin. I only had 2 of these. Here's the napkin that I had that I used on the cover with the cornucopia, and it has a few little designs. You can see the napkin is stained, so I couldn't really, in parts it's got stains on it. It also had this on the napkin, these little pumpkins and stuff. And I'm showing you these, and you can see another stain on it. Showing you these because I also made something else with the rest of the designs on the napkin. I'm going to show you those too. So here's what I made from the rest of the napkin and my scraps from making the journal. I made this bookmark, and the leaves and things are from the napkin I showed you. I used my little punch to make this little lace in beige, and then I put more at the top, and I put a little bit of fiber that I thought complemented the leaves from the napkin. I Mod Podged this whole bookmark front and back. And then I made this tag. Look at these cool little sprinkles. I made a sprinkle tag using Mod Podge. Guess where I got the sprinkles from? Talk about using your scraps. It's from my little punch die here. I'm showing you. It's what it punched out. And I just made a sprinkle tag. I felt it came out rather cute. And the last thing that I made is I used my Sizzix die and I made a pocket. And I used the rest of the napkin. That's the pumpkins from the napkin. And I Mod Podged them on. And now there's a pocket in the front that you can put something in. And then on the back it's plain, but if you just glue it around the edges, you have another pocket in the back you can use if you glue it to a book or a page. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and maybe that I inspired you in some way to make your own patchwork creation or cover, or even play with your Mod Podge and napkins to create some lovely things. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos. Thanks so much for spending the time with CraftyMama. Until next time, bye-bye.